Here's something important. What I always want to bring up to people is nobody cares about your plumbing business. It's a service-based business. So when people need your services, they will call on you. So you have to be ready to be able to help people at any given time for a period of time, which might be 6 to 8 to 10 years, to get your business really going and off its feet. And that's a sacrifice what you've got to be willing to take. The time frame could be shorter, could be longer for different people, depending on how much work you put in and effort, because it is all about your personal effort. And that's why you get a lot of plumbers that feel so proud about their own business. But the truth is, nobody cares. Friends and family can always help out at the beginning with promoting your business. And that's the best way of networking that you have got. Recommendations are very powerful within this industry. If I fit a tap for Mrs. Smith down the road and she's at the bookshop and she goes and tells Sally from the lane, oh, Mr. London Plumber fitted in this for me. Oh, I need a tap done. Recommendation. She is now doing the job of me recommending my business. So learn how to build relationships with customers. Be your own USP, unique selling point, yeah? You need to work out what that is for you. At some point, you're going to be able to work out your client base, which is the people who you serve as customers, right? And the way you want to operate with them is with the utmost respect. It's going to take you time to build relationships with people. And as long as you're in those people's company, you need to be the most respectful version of yourself, the most polite version of yourself. Because as plumbers, yeah, you get to go into people's properties, bedrooms, bathrooms, living rooms, kitchens, all of them. Oh, I'm just coming in. Would you like me to take off my shoes? Even the fact that you ask the customer, they will see that as polite. So just remember that when you go into anybody's house, the polite version, the polite version. Get yourself into thinking that everywhere where you go. And that's even with your communication as well. Now you've got your client base, you need to think about where your client base is. Because if you've got a company, yeah, you do not want to be traveling too far from any job. Traveling is a big part of expenses. You spend time, which equals money. You spend fuel, which equals money again. They're both burning away at your profit margin when it comes to having a company. Now let's talk about one of the biggest factors when it comes to having a plumbing company. That is money and day rate. Some people work off of a day rate which might be £300 to £400 a day. But I need people to understand, if someone tells you that they're on a £300 or £400 day rate, yeah, and they've got a plumbing company, it doesn't mean that they take that money home. That money's for the business. Your outgoings, yeah, when you have a company, is all your business expenses. It's not your iPhone charger lid. That's not your business expenses. Well, it can come underneath it. But anyway, your outgoings is going to be like your fuel, your materials, your insurance, your tools, your everything is your outgoing. So when you are running a company, understand you're running it at cost before you make any type of profit before. So when someone says £300 or £400, that's going to be down to the area where they are. It's going to be down to what they can charge at the point of the time and what the customer is willing to pay. All of those three factors. When you're learning how to cost jobs, yeah, there are many different methods on how people choose to do this scenario. I'm going to talk you through two different ones. When people first get started, there is a way of setting yourself up where you get the materials from your suppliers. Your suppliers give you, let's say, 15% off. You might charge 5% or 10% or even up to 30% on materials and then labour. Or you might charge your day rate and then give the materials at a cost price. So you're not really making much on the materials. Might be whatever the petrol cost to cover the materials and then your labour. That way it keeps things separate. But it shows you two different ways of calculating how you can run your business. But today, obviously, we have things like softwares which can help you keep calculation on your running costs, but also allow you to do invoices, estimates, quotations, all of these things through the same platform. But when I first started, there was some of that, but not all of it. But it's more a rounded situation which you can now use on your phone. It's very important to understand this running cost of your plumbing company, because that is the real cost of having a business. And when you understand all your outgoings, before you make anything, you understand what it costs you to run that company. So that's one lesson which you really need to learn as soon as possible, how much it costs when you're pricing stuff, because that's one part which confuses a lot of people. And another part to that, what I want to tell you about is, don't be that person who is not confident about charging the right amount. There are many different methods which people use to find out the generic price for that area. So you could use Google to do that, and you could also use ChatGPT to do a price on how much it costs to install a washing machine in King's Cross. It will give you a price, but it's a guideline, it's an estimate. You don't have to go on to that price, but it will give you a good guideline. At the beginning of your journey, you're always undervaluing yourself and probably charging less. But there needs to be a balance for your company to be able to work. So when you gain experience as a good plumber and you're able to communicate properly, fix problems, and update customers, that's when you will see a big difference in people paying you the rate what you've asked to be paid, and you leveling up your services. So now you have a good idea on how to structure the prices around the services, what you're doing as a service-based plumber. You will start to get confident at this point. But there is another side of it which is still missing, which is the customer service. And customer service is really important to any plumbing business, because customers want value from you at the end of the day. And how they balance the value is good plumbers come and they fix stuff. Good plumbers come and they communicate. Customers want updates. They want to know what happened. They want to know how long it's going to be. And they want to know if you're done yet. But the big learning curve to take away from all of these experiences, what I'm telling you, is that you've got to mold yourself into all of these different characters as one. To secure every job comfortably, because you need people to believe within your ability to do the job. So you need to make sure that your summary, or when you're speaking to people, is very clear and it's straightforward. And I've found that's helped me the most within this industry. And when I say clear, I mean, if somebody asks me for an estimate and they want something else on top of it, at this point in my career, I always make sure I add in the bits. I don't take off extra bits because I'm doing people favors. Because the favors when you run a business is not helping you, because it's costing you time. There are some exceptions where you want to do stuff for people and it's something only little, so you're not going to add it on. Like if somebody asks me, oh, could you just fix the toilet seat upstairs or something like that, I'm not going to add that onto the bill. No, that's not what I mean. It takes a long time to build respect within your community as a plumber, but you learn stuff as you go along. And to be honest, it's a good trade to be in if you get in there early and you learn. I've done everything what I've spoke about and realised that it's a pot what you have to keep pouring into yourself for it to be able to pay off one day. It's not an instant thing, starting a business and earning loads of money or being in a position where you want to be in. It's a gradual thing. But if you do it right, it can look after you for a very long time and you can be comfortable. And especially if you run your own plumbing business, one thing you can't be is be lazy. You can't be the person who's untidy. You can't be the person who doesn't clean up after themselves. You can't be the person who doesn't care about what someone would say if they looked at that. If you look back at your work and you say, I would pay someone to do that, you're now in the right frame of mind with the process on how you're doing stuff and how you're leaving stuff. Because when I started to get my work to the point where it was presentable, I was dealing with multiple customers at one time. I was able to manage, pick up material, get to jobs, be there on time, because that is a big thing as well. Being there on time and showing the best version of myself, impressing my customers, but understanding that the gig stops there, but still being a great communicator when that customer called me again and said, hey, I've got another job, just wondered if you're available. Yeah, I can be available. You make yourself available for your next customer, and you treat every customer with the utmost respect. You give them your time, because generally these people let you into their house. They give you a spare key if you're doing work. They trust you that you're going to be the expert to fix it. So there is a lot of things what come with it, like the responsibility, but it gives you a great level of freedom when it comes to what you can do and obviously what you can charge. But over the years, I've realized that there's a level of service which you must be proud of, which is a representation of yourself. Every plumbing firm or someone who started a plumbing business has started in a different way. I've learnt my trade up from maintenance to going out to doing installation to doing high-end maintenance. Because I've seen a gap in the market and realised that there's loads of people that don't know how to do this. So that's the reason why I set myself up. But I made sure that there was a gap within the market for me to be able to put myself there, my business and my services, or else there's no point in doing it. And there is always a call and a need for a plumber and a tradesperson, because people are always doing stuff, domestic, commercial. It's never ending. But one thing I always wish is that I set myself up sooner. And the tools what you have today to be able to help you grow, ask questions what you don't know, they can help you big time. But there's one key factor in this whole having a plumbing company, is having someone to be able to talk to. The amount of times that I've been on jobs and needing to call a plumber who I know, who knows their stuff, and explaining the job to him, and he can explain to me what I need to do to be able to get myself out of it. But at the end of I still have to do the job. Those were the times when I learnt the most. Those were the times when I realised I don't know nothing, do I? I'm going to have to read up. I'm going to have to get some books. I'm going to have to find out more about what I'm interested in so I can have that knowledge. And that takes time. It does take time. And you can't be hard upon yourself. You just got to be understanding and patient that you're learning. Because for some people, they pick things up quicker and faster. And for others, it happens slow. But it's a process which is molded within you. Like I know, go into any job, I'm going to carry a plumb tub. I'm going to carry dust sheets. I'm going to carry towels. Because that's how I've been trained to do stuff. No spills, no drips. I'm going to carry a hoover. I'm going to have black bags. There's going to be no mess. My way of going into a job is people should never know that you was there. But that's the way of work, what I've learned from. Everyone has their own styles. When you first start off, you don't have the money to buy everything. Some people will tell you, go ahead and get a van and pay for it off monthly. Others will tell you, just get a car and just drive about. Get yourself set up properly. Invest the money within yourself, then you can do it like that. How you choose to do these things are down to your financial situation at the time. But it is a big investment. I have made another video where I talk about how much it costs and I actually break it down. And I've made some other videos where I talk about the fundamentals, the 4 steps what you need to take before you start. But this video, I wanted to be a full breakdown on how I started and the things what I've learned and the things what I should have known before, but also the information what we have today. If you're not at the point where you've got another plumber who you can just call up to ask questions, if you're subscribed to me and you shoot me a message on Instagram or something, I always message people back. You know, I encourage anybody who is starting a dream or starting a company for the first time and you don't know nothing. I was in the same boat. So it's normal to think certain things and your confidence will grow within time. You've just got to trust within the process. Doesn't happen overnight, but be consistent. Learn your craft. Pick up the skills what you need to over the time. And when you start putting them together, it's nothing but beauty. If you've learned anything from this video, I'd appreciate you to subscribe to my channel, because my community is about transparency. It's about learning. It's about growing to the next step. It's about you being the better version of yourself. My name is Mr. London Plumber. I'd appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel and have a great day. Get started on your plan. Don't hesitate. Your plan needs to be thought over countless amounts of times, but just don't overthink it. Go into it with your head clear, with a clear plan of how to get started. And subscribe.
Yeah.